BeamNG.drive. We have a car thing today? Yeah, a car thing. It is technically a car, but when you look at it, you'll say that's not a car. And yeah, you're kind of right. It's not a car you would see anywhere. It is exactly what its name is. It is called Prototype, and that's kind of what it resembles. It's just like the frame of a car, though, and like a roll cage type of thing. That's all it is. There's no body panels or anything. And the release thing doesn't say anything about adding any. And it's like an official release. It's not a beta or anything. So I'm assuming this is just the end product. And if it ever does get body panels, I'll make another video for it. But as far as I know, it's gonna be like this. And yeah, kind of different. And well, here it is. It's it's a reasonably fast car. You can see just from like this. But it is fragile. Like, I think that little bump you saw might have actually damaged it fragile. Let's see if it'll still go in a straight line or not. It's okay right now, but like, here's an example of how fragile this thing is, alright? Alright, we're gonna come to pretty much a real slow crash right here. Just come up to this. Not that fast. Boom. And a lot of cars would probably be able to withstand that without really much issue. This one's already pulling to the right, though, just from that. That wheel is all busted up. You see it? Wheels aren't supposed to do this. So, yeah, it's a very fragile car because it doesn't have body panels to act as, what do they call it? Crumple zones or anything. So any impact is just directly onto the important bits of the car. So it's really fragile. Like, low-speed collisions damage it really easily. High-speed collisions destroy it real easily. So, like that, just crumpled, you know. You're dead, actually, probably right there. You're dead. You have a steering wheel crushing your spine, and terrible, terrible, terrible. Unfortunately, I don't know how realistic that is. And oh shoot, I got a phone call. I gotta take this. I'm sorry. Alright, well, now I lost my train of thought a little bit. Anyways, this thing is, I think I was saying about how the frame is fragile because it doesn't have crumple zones and all that, and I don't know how strong this kind of frame would be. Because this would be like a hypercar or a supercar kind of thing, because it has a V12, a turbo, and 2 seats, mid-engine. That's like the makings of something like a hypercar or a supercar. So I don't know exactly how strong the frame of one of those are, because usually the thing you're worried about is lightness. So you're usually picking it as light as possible while still being safe. So I don't know exactly how well it should hold up. But it crumples pretty easily. And it's not the kind of vehicle where you could go around and say, how much can I damage it before it comes undrivable? Because it's like one reasonable hit, and it's undrivable. So, like, we'll just do a little bit more here. Like, that right there is actually pretty bad for it, I would think. But right there, look, that wheel just did a 360. It is not churning at all anymore. You see it? It's spinning. Wheels don't spin. That's broken. Totally broken. So yeah. It has a bunch of camera angles, though. It has this camera angle. Oh god, we're stuck. It has this camera angle, though, which is like in the middle of the car, which is always something to go like this as you're driving. So you're like, I'm driving a car. I have no idea where I'm going, and I don't know what's happening at all. You got this camera angle, which is real close, so you can actually see the tachometer. No speedometer, just tachometer. So it's kind of funny. So see, just tachometer. There's a bunch of other camera angles too. There's this one, which is slightly farther away. And there's one where you're sticking your face right up on the dash, if there was one. Just metal, bars. And then you got one where you're leaning back and just relax, man. You're just relaxing. So a lot of camera angles, but like I said, not really something you could crash a lot. Because it just breaks. It's just like, oh, it's broken. And because of that, we'll just go to a track where we could kind of like race it, I guess. Not really a racetrack or anything, but just a track where we could drive fast. Corkscrew Mountain is a good track for that, I think. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull out the car. It's called Prototype, like I said. Oh, that's not Prototype, no. Yes, Prototype. And there's no pre-configured versions of the car. There's just the ability to modify the things it has. So out of the first ones, there's nothing too interesting. The first interesting thing, if we're just going down the rows, is the Stage 3 Plus turbocharger. So it's like a turbo, but even more so. The only problem with this is if you drive it with an automatic transmission that ends up upshifting a lot, you end up coasting at just ridiculous speeds. So let me see if I can kind of show that off. Unfortunately, it's not even that great of a car to try to drive because it doesn't handle very well. And it's already damaged. Look, it's already pulling to the left just from taking that turn a little bit too steep. Yeah, but I haven't accelerated going up that whole hill. And I'm still not accelerating. It's just kind of the way the automatic transmission is. It keeps you moving even if you don't touch the gas. It's funny. It's all upshifting and downshifting all on its own. I haven't accelerated one bit. It's just like, I'm going to downshift here, I'm going to upshift here, I'm going to do whatever I want to do because I'm a car. Ooh, I like this turn. I don't do anything. I'm just sitting back and relaxing. I do nothing for that turn. But like I said, it's not even the fact that it's downhill either. Watch. After I get a little bit of momentum going, I think we could even go uphill. Alright, let's see. Okay, maybe not go uphill with automatic, but you can do it with manual, I think. We go in the 6th gear into manual. Look at that. Climbing the hill without touching the gas. It's just funny how that happens. Alright, enough of that. Let's go ahead and use manual, because when that... I like manual better. Especially a car like this, which is not exactly the easiest to control. Because it's kind of twitchy. Because it has such a back-oriented weight distribution, I would assume. Makes it very difficult to control. I am taking the turns a little bit on that inside part to see if it'll break it again, or if that was like a one-time thing, because I am curious, how did that actually break it? That surprised me. Oh goodness, oh goodness, okay, that broke it. Look at that tire is all bent out of shape, and it is disconnected. Anyways, though, that engine's a little... I mean, I don't know if you ever need that much power. Really, I mean, the regular one's fine, but you can have more power. I guess you can always have more power. Not need it, but you can have it. But the suspension, that's where things get interesting. There's settings for, like, everything. Like, you could just... Look at how many different things there are just for coilover. Differential, same way. Sway bars, there's not as much. Why is the car slowly falling down a hill? Look at this. Look at how much different options there are for the rear wheels. There, that's 1, 2, 3. This is just the, by the way, what it actually right here means is, what is the car doing? I haven't touched anything. Let me just get this car onto the road again, and then I'll talk about that in a second. Whoa! Goodness. I don't know what happened there. Just trying to close all this out so I can move around and... Ah! Stop it. Okay. Anyways, with the, I'll talk about the tires because that's the easiest one to explain, then I'll sound like an idiot more and more. Anyways, these ones is just different tire type, like tire treads, plus the PSI that it runs. So you could have off-road tires for some reason, or you could have race ones. So you could have, you know, whatever you want, normal tires as well, I guess. I don't know why would you ever want that low of pressure? That seems crazy. 0.7. I don't know. So, but you could change all of this up, and it's like you can make a car feel different. So if I put like that, for example, and then I said I want to also do, like if you want to open rear differential, or if you don't, you could pick a different one, whichever you want. I don't know. Open always makes it seem more deadly, I think. Oh goodness, we can't turn because we're not touching ground. So if you wanted to drive around with open differential just like that, you can. And that's kind of the neat thing about it, is you find what setup you like the best. Actually, I think I like open differential works fine with the really low tires like that. And it's one of those things where it's unfortunately really difficult to show in a video that a car handles different. But trust me, it does. Because you see I'm not spinning out now. It's a pretty big difference. I'm not quite sure if it's from the tires, the differential, or a little bit of both. But that's cool like that. I just think it's cool. Like I think it'd be cool if like some of those race car ones that that people make had this too, because real race cars are tuned for the track. You know, they like say I'm gonna make the gears shorter or longer, the suspension stiffer, and they do that in real life. So I think it'd be cool to have that on some of the race cars as well. Like very specific things like this one, how it has the exact numbers of like how many PSI, and like I think there's also you could do like the steering angle type stuff. Look at that car. It's moving on its own. Look, I'm not accelerating. It's like, I'm gonna drive now, and good luck for you. But you could have different, like high sport rear. What does that mean? This is the regular one? I'm not really sure on that. It's hard to remember all the differences, but wait, look at this. Is ridiculous. Car keeps rolling around all on its own. Anyways, stupid car flying around everywhere it wants to go. You have all kinds of things, like if you want hard front, sport front, regular front, all kinds of things, soft sway bars, and you can make something that doesn't handle at all. By the way, oh, off. You know what? Just for laughs, all right. Let's set it up for off road, and let's see how easily it'll get wrecked in off road setup. I think it won't be able to do it. Is what I'm thinking, but who cares? Try it out anyways. Go to Dirt Jam. That's a decent track. Alright, so I unfortunately don't know 100% for sure how you would set up a rally car. I'm saying that right now, so people could say, you shouldn't have done it like that. That is terrible. Why would you do that? So I'm saying it right now because I didn't know. Anyways, we're going to put on the obvious thing, which is the wheels. And there's only one choice for pressure on the off-road wheels, so we'll just choose that. Nice and easy. Next is coilovers. And the way I see it is high sport rear would probably mean it's physically higher up. You need a little extra ground clearance if you're off-roading, so I'm going with that based on that assumption, because to me that makes sense. Differential, as far as I know, an open differential is bad if you're trying to drive on the dirt, I would think. Just basing this off of what I would guess. And I unfortunately don't know what exact number would be ideal, so I'm just going to go with 500. That's big number good, small number bad, right? That makes no sense at all. That's just a random guess. Next is the front coilovers. This one does not have a high or low type of thing, so I'm just gonna put it to hard because I would think if it doesn't have any extra height, it's really likely to easily bottom out. So I need as much stiffness as I can get, I would think, just because it's so naturally low of a car. Tires are the same. Steering. The steering angle, I don't know what you would actually want for that. It's just for rally, I just don't know. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put the we'll just put the -5 racing on it, because rally's like racing, just racing in the dirt. So this should be a rally car technically now, except for its terrible ground clearance. But ignoring that, let's see what would happen. If you give me off-road tires, this is what will happen. I'm going to try to keep it alive by driving carefully, but I don't know what will happen. Because I'm going to slow down whenever there's a bump. Oh, goodness. And try to keep it alive and not damaged for a whole lap. I'm not going to try to go super fast with it. I just want to keep it alive. Because I don't think it would work, because it'll die. Because you wreck it. You know, I could have got the level 3 turbo too, but oh well. Bad jump, bad jump. Careful. Like I said, not breaking no speed records, that's for sure, but oh man, I think the steering's not quite right anymore. Maybe it's okay, I don't know. I think maybe I bent the frame a bit, and I don't think the wheels are quite touching the ground anymore. You don't need to touch the ground to turn, do you? You just kind of, like an airplane, you point your wheels in the direction you want to go and it'll fly that way, right? So that's not good. That's not good at all. That's really bad. That's gonna, oh goodness. Right, okay. I guess you could say that car's broken, and I would agree. Well, maybe not broken, but it's upside down, that's for sure. Oh, come on. Okay. It's not turning left at all. Like, I'm turning left as hard as I can, it's not turning left. Alright, so it's not that durable. At least, assuming I didn't break it by dropping it on its roof. So let's see if it was going the other direction. Oh goodness, yeah, that's really bad. Tires are not, no, they're not supposed to look like that at all. Then again, I did just basically slam it into the wall. I didn't actually do any sort of real rallying. I just slammed it into a wall. Of course it's gonna break. Try to give it an actual jump to let this thing a chance. It just doesn't seem to have that great of a turning radius, though, in the dirt. And I want to say it has a bad turning radius because of the really low... Look at that tire. That's broken tire. I want to say it has a really bad turning radius, though, because of how low it is. And I think it keeps bottoming out, and I think that's part of the reason why it's not a good rally car. That, and it doesn't look like it would be. Like, I don't know, it just feels like it has a really poor turning radius, because, like I said, I'm assuming it's because it's bottoming out. Yeah, you can't really tell. You can tell it definitely hits the bottom, though, for every now and then. And that's another busted tire. Okay, enough of trying to use this as a rally car. I have proven that is a poor idea. So, yeah, let's not do that. Just go ahead and... Let's see, what have we... Let's see, we've kind of driven it on a racetrack, but not... This is a good idea. Donington Park. This racetrack has a reasonable amount of, dips and bumps. So that makes me curious, if you have a certain suspension setup, or just a stock suspension setup, actually, for this one, will it be able to, not bottom out? Or will it bottom out? I'm also going to put the race wheels on just because they're a little more grip. Oh, sport wheels then. I thought that was race ones. What's the difference between Sport 1 and Sport 2? Oh, we'll just go with the first one. I swear there was a race wheel somewhere. Oh, whatever. Oh, on the back there's race wheels. Okay. Whatever. I don't know. I just wanted to put race wheels on it because it feels like it's a little more grippier that way. Alright, so go ahead and kill that menu and let's see if it'll be okay without bottoming out. So I'm just going to race it hard and not exactly worry about how well I stay on the track. So stuff like this is what I want to see what happen. Most cars won't break if you do that. But I'm curious if this one will. Alright, that left tire is turned inward and we are not going to be able to go in a straight line. So that broke it right there, though. You see the left tire, well, it's hard to tell right now, but it won't go in a straight line now, watch. See, the left tire is bent towards the right, so we are going right. So that right there broke it. But that was kind of a reasonable bump, I guess you could say, so. It wasn't exactly something small. That one was just me, I'm pretty sure. Yep, that was me. Still feels like it's going in a straight line, so that was just me spinning out. Okay. That one you could blame the suspension, but it didn't break. I just had my rear end lift off the ground a couple of times and it bounced. So yeah, if you were racing here, you probably wouldn't want this suspension setup necessarily. You'd probably want to make it a bit different. I would guess if it's bouncing, you probably want it to be different? I don't know. I didn't think this through. Because if it's bouncing, then I don't know. I don't know. And now I'm thinking about the suspension, not where I'm going. That's great. Probably broken now. Yeah, it's not straight at all. Not going straight at all. So anyways, it's an interesting thing. That's what I'm saying. It's interesting to mess around with. And if you want to learn about how the suspension kind of stuff works, and say, oh, a soft suspension will work better, or whatnot, or a higher PSI will work better, or... yeah, that would be a great way to... well, that's weird. The game crashed. But as I was saying, just being able to change all those things would be a great way to kind of just learn how suspension affects the way a car drives and such. I'm not going to do that on camera because it'd be boring. I would want to know it in advance. I would want to know this is how this suspension affects things. Unfortunately, though, the worst thing is like I said, you can't really see that, yes, this is less grippy. You got to feel it for yourself. And I could, it's just the way it is. And I used to tune cars in like Forza and Gran Turismo, and I used to know all this stuff. But it wasn't exactly entirely relevant. It would be more like understeering, add more this. It was like basically at a flow chart type of thing I made after working with things. It's not like something that was ingrained in my memory. It's more of I learned it as I went. And that's a good way to learn it as well. But if you don't have those games available to you, and you got BeamNG.drive, you can do it like this too. You know, you see, oh yes, a harder front suspension will cause it to turn more like this or whatever. But anyways, the last thing we gotta do, wreck the cars. You always gotta wreck the cars. So that's what we gotta do. Oh, by the way, this car does not feel very stable at high speeds. I bet if I was to turn right now, yeah, it's gonna slide. I didn't hit slow-mo, I know. Because we were going sideways. That's my excuse. No, I don't know. I forgot. How about that? Let's be honest, I forgot. I forgot there was slow-mo. How does that even happen? Okay. Careful. Careful. Watch, I'm gonna spin out this time now. Even though last time it was half intentional, this time I'm gonna spin out unintentionally. Probably should have put better tires on it. That would have been smart. Yeah, this is not stable at high speed at all. Oops. That was weird. I hit slow-mo well before the wall. But, well, it didn't activate. That was weird. That was just weird. Okay, right. I'll hit it. I don't know. That was just weird. That's all I can say about that. It was weird. Alright, super slow-mo. I might have did that a bit too early, didn't I? Oops. I'm afraid to change it because of what happened last time, though. It's like a magic trick. It just disappears except for the engine and wheels. Extra dead. So yeah, crumple zones are there for a reason. Turns out, Who'da thunk, right? Oh, yeah. They're there for you to live. You can throw it off a leap of death, but not much will be left, probably. You could also do fast, crazy downhill more. But not with this car. I don't think it'd be real interesting. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on, come on. I'm impatient right now. Thank you. So, prototype, prototype, prototype. I should put the off-road wheels on it, right? See, I'm hitting slow-mo way early because I'm afraid. Super slow-mo now. Yeah, it just disintegrates, kinda. Like, it's just, now it's flat. I'm still waiting for the car that replicates that, RC car, though, that could be flipped over while you drive it and it'll still work perfectly fine. Alright, well, I'm not gonna do that again because that's kinda eh. So, till next time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see you.